for any kind of definition, so 50% of humanity is defined emotionally, 50% of humanity is undefined emotionally, avoiding emotion and not actually becoming friends with emotion is something that takes us all off track and makes us disembodied. That can be the avoidance of emotions from the undefined emotional center that feels that the emotions got amplified and that we don't know how to process emotion. Or it can be the defined that has rocked the boat and realized that when you rock the boat, you get punished. And that is not a good way to move through the world. So it doesn't matter if we are defined or undefined. When we learn that emotions aren't good and we find different ways of avoiding them, then there's a part of ourselves, because we're physical, we are emotional, we're mental, we're spiritual. There's a part of us that is denied, that is not allowed to sit around the table. And often when that happens, it comes out in distorted ways. So it can either come out so it burns us on the inside so that we get anxiety or we get ulcers. We are using that motor, that power of the emotions to burn ourselves. Or it comes out in the low frequency of aggression with others. In either case, it's a low frequency, not self way. So the most powerful thing that we can do is to recognize the emotions that we have and find more constructive way of expressing, of integrating, of moving. I always speak about we have everything in us. We're self-healing, and there is the movement, the breath, the sound, the touch. We have so many tools in our being that we can use so that we can give place space for that energy, because when it's repressed, when it's avoided, when it's denied, when it's projected, it only creates havoc. That's a responsibility as we are going closer to 2027 into this mutation that's already happening of the emotional center. This center is becoming an awareness center, and it's not something that's on the shoulder of a responsibility of either defined or undefined emotions. It's all together. We as a humanity, all the body graphs on top of each other. We are an emotional manifesting generator. So the aura of humanity is emotional, and that's the biggest mutation that's happening right now. And it's this marriage of three different awareness centers: the splenic, intuitive, instinctive awareness center. We have this spirit that is coming into form because we're so home in all the layers of being: body, emotions, mental, spiritually, soul-based, all the ways we're so home, so that spirit can awaken through us. And that is a mutation in the solar plexus center. Spirit wants to wake up. We have that 55 that is the main gate in 2027. So the freedom of gate 55 is fueling this mutation. And we all have a responsibility. It doesn't matter what our design is. That emotional center is one of the main things that is often distorted and lead to situations that are continuing a similar pattern over and over again. So if we can lean into the emotional center and understand those gates and the energies there, connected to the fifth line of the core wound with the sacred seals, that seal of forgiveness. I don't necessarily know if I would call it forgiveness. I think I would call it radical acceptance for what is and radical responsibility for what is. And that is also the fact that an answer can change as we are evolving. A pattern needs to be tested. Does it still work? It worked 4 years ago. Does it still work? How does it feel? Does it feel in totality? Does it feel connected? There's always a discernment in the moment. That's also the sixth line reality. I feel like you were saying you're pulled out contractions, Valencia, from your body, from your life, from your being. And now you're living more freely. And that's when you can allow that sixth line coming through in all of your cells to be that alive navigation system that can tell you moment by moment where you're going, what love is, and who you are.